Hello and welcome to my Share a Sip with my special guest Lisa. She is a baker who specializes in baking cookies. All right, so today we are going to be sipping on Topa's Mountain Rosé. It's a Grenache and it's 2019. So it's the Santa Barbara County, sorry. So let's get to know Lisa and how she got into this baking. So tell us a little bit about yourself and then what led to you starting your bake shop.
Sure. I moved to Livermore maybe 5-6 years ago, and at the time I was working, I was a police officer, and after getting into a critical incident work, I took some time off, and I was eventually retired, and I kind of found myself just doing the everyday mom thing, you know, and I was pretty stressed out at the time, and I was volunteering at a trauma retreat for first responders, but I needed something more for myself because I found like I was losing myself, and I'd always enjoyed baking, and I thought, you know, maybe I will, you know, take this cookie class that was coming up because I'd always tried to do cookies with the kids. Yeah. And when it got to the icing, it was just a mess. And so I was like, I want to figure this out. And so I found a local baker and a cookie decorator. We call ourselves cookiers. Okay. And it was just, I said, I'm going to do this. And I did it. And I am glad I did because I just kept practicing. And it got to the point where my friends and family were asking me to make them cookies for special occasions. And eventually I thought, you know, I want to be legitimate and get a license, and so I applied and got my business license and became a cottage food operator.
That's awesome. Yeah, she has a cool setup here at her home. She's all ready for the holidays. This will be posted after Easter, but it is going to be Easter Sunday.
Yes, it's a crazy week here.
She's super busy, so thank you so much for taking the time. So tell us a little bit about your shop, like what other things you offer and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I started back in 2019, and when I first started, I just started with sugar cookies. I sell sugar cookies by the dozen, or if I have an event like I did recently for Easter, I'll sell single cookies or cute decorated cookies. And I am booked out for those quite a ways because they do take a lot of time to make. And then I also do specialty cookies. Those took off like crazy about a year and maybe 14 months ago. And I was able to just start developing recipes, and that's probably my favorite part, is just developing recipes. A lot of people don't know, but my sugar cookies, that's where I started developing recipes. I went through so many like mint chip and lemon poppy seed and all kinds of sugar cookie flavors. And so when I started doing the fun cookies, my goal is to make them all look like an ice cream scoop. And so they're super fun, different, all kinds of add-ins, you know, from cereals to candy or, you know, whatnot. It kind of brings people back to their childhood of certain cereals and whatnot. And then I do dessert bars. I do lemon bars. I do 7-layer bars. I've done brownies, Rice Krispie treats. And then lately I've done regular cinnamon rolls. But lately I have been doing sourdough cinnamon rolls. I was kind of refusing to jump on the sourdough train. And then I finally did it a couple months ago. My friend from Simply Rosie, she gave me some of her starter, and I loved it. And so I started making cinnamon rolls, and so those have been taking off as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Everyone loves cinnamon rolls.
Yes, those are good. Hard to keep in the house.
That's funny. How do you not or do you eat cookies as you go?
Yeah, everybody asks me, you know, because I develop a lot of recipes, I do quality control. I want to taste my recipes. I feel for consistency, and I want to taste it and make sure before it leaves this house that, you know, the original recipe, that it's good enough, it's to my standards. But yeah, I still eat cookies. My kids are kind of over it. One of them will take anything he can get. He still loves them, but my husband and I still eat cookies. In fact, we don't even eat dessert anymore.
Just cookies.
Just cookies. I mean, we really like our cookies. So,
that's awesome.
It's kind of nice. But we try not to go overboard. You know?
Do you often do new recipes, or do you have like a set, like, or it's like you come up with something and you're like, oh, let's try it?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I will usually I have a list where I'm like, these are the flavors that I want to try.
Okay.
And then one night I might be, laying in bed, and then I think, oh my gosh, this is what I should do.
Yeah.
And I'll think of something that will go with it. And then if I don't try it within the next couple days, I kind of lose it.
Okay.
And when I come out and I do it, I just kind of throw in some ingredients, and I've baked enough now to kind of see how things react and whatnot. And I would say more times than not, it's been like an instant, yep, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple, like my cookies and cream, I'm still working on because I'm not 100% sold on it. But other than that, like most of the time it's like pretty good. So
awesome.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate with that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's fun. One of my favorite things is to ask, like, when people create things, is there a fail? Like, do you have like one that comes to mind that's like really funny, or like really just like gross?
I would say a fail. I mean, I am not perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, this is my first time running a business. I've done supervisor jobs in the past, and management, but this for me is, I am working from home.
Yeah.
I am doing the payroll essentially, or the accounting, really, like the
annoying part.
Yeah, it's keeping track of all the expenses,
Yeah.
the orders coming in, the social media, that's a huge component.
Yeah.
And then the baking itself, the packaging, it's a lot of work. And without sleep, like this week, I kind of was telling you about that, it's minimal sleep on holiday weeks.
Yeah.
It's 3 hours if I'm lucky. And my husband is amazing. I mean, he's been helping me lately, kind of doing the scooping and prepping the ingredients. And there's times he's telling me what to do, because lately, I mean, I miss things.
Yeah.
I'll forget to put in something. So that overall is just, sometimes I just am flighty lately because I'm doing so many things.
Yeah.
But it's nothing that the customers see. It's just everything on my end that's easily fixable. I've had to throw out like a whole batch of cookies, and it just happens sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not perfect, and I make mistakes.
Yeah.
But there's been.
Is there a flavor that you like thought was gonna be good and it was just like not working?
That's what happened with the cookies and cream.
Okay.
And I like cookies and cream. I'm not a big chocolate fan.
Okay.
I have to admit, I'm not a huge chocolate person.
Okay.
And if you've seen my menu, you'll see that I have a dark chocolate Rolo cookie, and I love dark chocolate, and I do love that cookie. But I'm not very big on chocolate, and I guess that I would say. The cookies and cream is chocolatey, but it just had like the marshmallow taste wasn't enough, and so I was working on it, and so that is just something that I'm still working on. And to be honest, it's just not like a huge crazy desire. When I posted about it, the more people were insane about Captain Crunch. So
I'm a huge cookies and cream.
Oh,
so when you
good.
perfect that, we'll get some.
Good. So it's actually I have
test
some.
taker.
Yes, I'm always looking for testers, and that's what I do. I look out to the community to taste my products, because I may have a certain taste, and yes, I do have a certain standard, but I also want everybody to try it and give me feedback. I'm open to criticism. But I have some. I've had them sitting in there, and I just haven't taken them out, because I was like, I'm just gonna put these away, because in the last couple of weeks, I think I've done like Captain Crunch and Lucky Charms, and I mean, so I have a set plan sometimes, but then I just go off the cuff, and sometimes I'll just make a bunch of other ones.
I love it.
Yeah.
So she mentioned community. We're actually in Livermore, favorite place.
Yes.
So she's located in Livermore, and how do people get your cookies? Or treats?
So I have a website. It's butterandbatterlc.com.
Yeah, probably should have mentioned your
That's okay. So Butter and Batter is the name of my business, and LC are my initials for Lisa Cordy.
Okay.
So it's butterandbatterlc.com, and you can send inquiries through the website.
Okay.
And then it's important to know that I sometimes keep things out of stock until I have a sale. But you can always get my specialty cookies, which are my specialty scoop cookies, but sugar cookies, that needs to come through an inquiry, and I'm booked out until July right now.
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, it's been great, but I feel bad because I have to turn away so many people.
Yeah.
But I do. There's a process to fill out a form and request a date for that. But otherwise, I do a lot of flash sales on Instagram.
Okay.
And I have pop-ups at least once or twice a week, or a month. Not a week.
No wonder why you're getting seriously.
But I try and stay involved, and I do those, not only to, help our business and get out to the customers, but also to help the other businesses that are, it's kind of like a share.
Yeah. So make sure you're following her, because her pop-up sales, like, it's on Instagram and it goes quick. Like, it's awesome.
I mean, it's great, but I feel bad for my customers. Yesterday, I think the Easter sale, it was maybe 2 minutes, and then, my website crashes, or it takes your stuff out of the cart if you're not fast enough. It's hard because I'm still learning what's a good way, because I only have and can only do so much because I'm working alone.
And I think that's like, most people, for the most part, like, understand, like, small businesses, it's usually just one person kind of thing.
Right.
So usually they're more understanding, but I know, like, sometimes it, like, hurts you when you can't help someone.
Yes, and I am very known for, and my husband gives me a hard time, he likes to think he's my manager, but I will, initially when I did the pre-sale, and I always say, I'm only going to do my max, and that's it. And then I took on like a 30 order waiting list, and that's not just 30 cookies, it's 30 orders. And one of them was like 14 cookies, and like, okay, so I am still learning my boundaries. That's hard in a small business, but yes, ultimately I do work alone. I am grateful to have my husband helping me right now, and I have hired help in the past. Simply Rosie from Rose from Simply Rosie was helping me a lot, and now she's doing her own thing, which is awesome. Great. So I mean, it is a lot of work, but people are very understanding.
Because I think a lot of, and when they aren't understanding, they don't realize that you're not just the baker, like, you're the social media, you're the accountant, you're everything to your business. And your mom, like, a wife, like, your mother, so there's a lot.
And also I'm a CrossFit coach.
CrossFit.
And then we're on a team where we work out 5 days a week.
Oh, that's
90
nice.
minutes to 2 hours a day.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, it's a huge commitment, but, we work around that schedule, and I work around my baking schedule around that, because it's important for me. My health is important, and my sanity.
So, do you have any tips on baking cookies?
Yeah, I do workshops too. So I have a lot of private workshops where people want to do more than just cookie decorating. They want to learn consistency. The icing consistency is probably the hardest thing. And when you take my workshop, I'm very open. People message me all the time. I'm very open to help other people. I don't share my actual recipe for my cookies, but I'll share my icing recipe, and I will share tips, all day long. And for me, if I can give any tip at all, a lot of people that are cooking and making cookies, sugar cookies, even if you're doing it for the holidays and you just want to do it for your kids, a lot of people have a problem with spreading their cookies. Their sugar cookies just get super wide or big. And I experienced that myself when I was kind of learning the process, and after going through so many times with my recipe, I just omitted any kind of leavening agent, any kind of baking powder or baking soda. So a lot of people might find a recipe and follow it, and a lot of the times for a sugar cookie recipe it might have it, and I say a good tip would be just to get rid of it. You don't need it.
Okay, I'm trying that next Christmas, because all of our candy canes are like, what is that?
They don't have candy canes anymore. I know, and then I also put them in the refrigerator overnight just to make them chill, because that will also help the spreading a little bit. Okay,
so because I was on the mission to find my favorite cookie or chocolate chip cookie recipe, which I finally found, but one of them called for freezing the dough overnight. So what does that actually do?
So that holds that. So if freezing versus just making it right out of the mixer.
It might have been refrigerating now that I remember, but I didn't keep that recipe.
So it could be either or. It could be you put it in the refrigerator for a while, you make it right off after you put it on the pan and pop it into the oven. Or you can put it in the freezer. The thing that may help is it will decrease the speed of the butter melting into while it's in the oven, and it will not spread as much. So the cookie will
So
be a little bit more
puffier.
flatter, or it will be puffier
Oh,
if you
okay.
give it a little bit of a chill before first.
Okay,
Yeah.
so why would it be flatter? Sorry.
Because if it's not cold enough,
Oh, okay.
and the butter melts and then it starts spreading.
Okay, that
So
makes sense.
yeah, and so you need
All those like little things.
yeah, there's little things, but then definitely you wanna, if you want a puffier cookie, and it doesn't necessarily have to look like my kind of
Yeah.
cookie. There's other things in there, but you just want to make sure it's cold, really cold
I'm gonna
before
try
you
that next time.
pop it in there. Yeah,
Because mine are like they're chewy. They're really good, like soft, chewy. Like that's what I like. That's
Yeah.
why I really like your cookies because
Oh,
they're
thank
like
you.
very like
dense. And,
yeah, they're like dough.
Yeah.
I always say it's like the edible dough.
Yeah.
Like it's so
Which
good.
is funny because I make edible dough and people think, people always ask, do I bake these? And then when I have pop-ups sometimes people look at my
Cookies.
yeah, and they're like, what are these? Is this dough? And like, it's actually they're cookies, which is fun. It keeps people guessing.
Yeah.
It's a different aesthetic, and that's just kind of my signature.
It's so good. So if you do like cookie doughs, I highly recommend her Simply. They're Simply cookies, right? Or specialties.
Oh, the
cookies.
specialty scoop
Yeah.
cookies.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That was like Simply. I'm like, oh no. Sorry.
Yeah. So
But they are like if you like the doughier part, like it's really good.
So
Are you ever gonna do like a mystery one where like they have to guess?
I've never done that. I've never even thought about that. That's fun.
It's
though.
like like the Skittles.
Yeah, that would be fun. I love ideas. I mean, that's so fun. So there's so many things I have in my head all day long.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I'm kind of almost getting to a point where I'm like, okay, just when I want to chill and
Yeah.
just, because I'll go and pull out a recipe. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't made this like candy cane. I haven't made it in a couple of months, probably since the Altamont.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah. And my husband gives me a hard time because my cookbook is just chicken scratch. It's all just, I will think of a recipe and I don't write it down until after I'm done.
Oh.
And then so I write it down thinking and so it takes me a couple times to do my cookies because I have to think, oh yeah. So my husband gives me a hard time because I'm usually very organized.
Yeah.
But my cookbook is chicken scratch and he's like, we need to type this out. I'm like, but this is what makes it my cookbook.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
yeah, it's fun.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite?
I get this question a lot and, it kind of changes.
Yeah.
Right now, the circus cookie
Okay.
is so good.
Awesome.
I'm going to make that an edible dough too.
Okay,
Because the dough itself is just amazing.
Okay.
The marshmallow honeycomb is probably one of my favorites.
Okay.
And I actually brought that for you today too.
Okay.
And, everybody likes the classic like triple chocolate chip, the salted triple chocolate chip, and the s'mores. But I think toffee pecan is another one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was about the.
Yeah.
I think I had toffee.
Yeah.
That
It's
was
hard
really
because it changes.
Yeah.
We'll have some, and then like, well, no, this is at the top right now, and then we'll try it. We'll make it. Nope, this is at the. So I mean, I'm very grateful that I like the product that I make
That's
as
awesome.
well.
Yeah. I'm talking a lot about your specialty cookies is because I've tried that one. But she makes beautiful sugar cookies, which she's mentioning. And I was wondering, like, were you into like artistic stuff? Because they're really good. Or
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because I worked in law enforcement for so long.
Yeah.
Since I was 21, and I never thought I had an artistic side at all. I was a detective, and I was just really into like work, and I didn't have any time outside of work, so I didn't have it. I just didn't think I had any artistic ability whatsoever. So it really surprised me when I took this class, and I kind of looked around and I thought, I'm actually kind of decent at this.
Yeah.
So again, I kept practicing, and sometimes I still look at my cookies and I'm blown away. Even my husband and I, we were up at like 3 o'clock the other morning. He's like, can you believe this? Like, you made all of these hundreds of cookies you decorated. And I'm just thinking, it's kind of cool. Like, to start from just a hobby and an idea is something that was kind of a very therapeutic for me at a very stressful time in my life. And it just to look back and look at them, like I didn't think I had it, and I now have that ability to have that creative outlet.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to make one of those?
So that's a good question, because sugar cookies, a lot of people, and I am very guilty of it. I had no idea. I used to be the friend that would order them for everybody's parties or showers, and I thought, gosh, these are expensive. These are 12 cookies. Why are they so expensive?
Yeah. And
I get it now. So, I mean, let's say I had a dozen cookies from the the baking part is the easiest part. So you mix it and then you bake it. That might be a total of like 45 minutes to an hour, cutting and everything.
Yeah.
And then the actual decorating, there's sometimes several layers, and it depends what you're doing. So I have these bunny cookies right here that I did for Easter, and that's several different layers where I have to let dry in between to get the definition in between the different areas, and then airbrushing and then lettering. So I would say, if I had to say like one cookie or like a dozen of these cookies, it might take me sometimes 12 hours.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So next time when you're complaining with prices, no, but really, like, that's so
it's
crazy.
Something you have to love.
Yeah,
exactly. It's something that, I mean, sometimes I'm like, what am I doing? But at the end of it, when I see it, I feel it's very rewarding.
Good.
And I'm a part of someone's special occasion.
Yeah.
I get to be a part of someone's wedding or their baby shower. I mean, this is so weird, but I have a cookie from my baby shower from 6 years ago or 7 years
that's
ago.
So cute.
I will not eat it, but it's in my daughter's baby.
That's really cute.
These things last a long time. So once they're heat sealed, they'll last for a long time. But yeah, so sometimes I pinch myself and think, wow, did I make this? Because I never thought I had a creative side. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like it. How do you like your sugar cookies? Like, are they hard, soft?
Yeah, that's another good question. So I am very picky about my sugar cookies, and I'm fortunate that my husband and I are very similar. Okay. My cookies are soft. My cookies are, they are soft. Yeah. They're not, the ratio, the icing to cookie ratio, what I've been told too, this is not just from me, but it's good. It's not overly sweet. I use vanilla for my classic vanilla for my regular cookies, but people can request whatever flavor they want because I have a lot. But classic vanilla is like the main one. Okay. But it's a soft bite. Okay. And for me, it's like you want to eat another bite. Cool. And I've heard a lot of real good feedback from my customers. Amazing. Yeah. And so I pride myself on having soft cookies because I've been to parties or I've bought cookies before where I'm like, oh, they look so pretty. Yeah, but
they're more for decoration.
Yeah, and I may not be the best decorator. I mean, I feel like my artistic ability, I have some, but there's other ones in town that are beautiful. Yeah. But I also pride myself on that they taste good. Yeah. So that's a huge component for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. So anything you want to mention about cookies or your business right now?
No, I think
I just don't want to forget something.
No, I think I'm very grateful. This community alone has been so supportive. Yeah. I mean, I can't even. Livermore's been amazing. Yeah.
And I tell my followers, I'm like, it's not like I didn't fall in love with it just because of the wine. Like every time I meet someone, I'm like, this is where I want to be. Like this is like home to me. Yeah. Because the community, like I was on a live the other night and they asked me what Livermore was like because they'd never even heard of it. Yeah. And I was like, it's one big family. Oh. And that's truly what it is. And meeting all these small business owners and like how all of them are connected together and like ready to support each other. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. Yeah. And I think as a small business owner, I've seen that firsthand where, especially us women, we get together and we support each other at these pop-ups and, all these different businesses and we buy each other's things, even though, we want to help each other out. And then the community is the same. I mean, everybody's very supportive and it was very well seen through COVID. I mean, you just saw the support and it was just amazing. I feel very blessed to be in this community.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I met you. See, Livermore is bringing me to amazing
You have to come to Livermore.
I know. All right, so we'll sip on some wine. Not Livermore wine, but it's Santa Barbara County. Small one. Yeah. It's fun. It's a fun place to visit. Yeah. But this is actually, I haven't been to the winery, but I met the winemaker. He was out, he's actually a friend of my friend. So she knew I was into wine, so connected us when I was out there. Yes. And it was cool. So I met him at the wineries where they make the wine. But the property is really pretty. I've seen it on Instagram. Oh, nice. Cool view. But yeah, so it's a rosé of Grenache, which I've been actually loving Grenache lately, so it's been fun. What are your thoughts?
I
like the lighter rosés. I wasn't. You said rosé, but I wasn't sure.
It's light. It's refreshing, and
it's nice for this Livermore heat.
Yes, it tastes really good. I can drink this. This is one of those bottles that I can have like at night, or
Yeah.
you know, have a couple of glasses of wine
Yeah.
and not be too heavy.
Yeah, and it's like light salmon color.
Yes, yeah, which is nice. You know, you usually see like a little bit pinker,
Yeah.
but it is nice.
Do you have a cookie that you would prepare or pair with it?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I would think maybe the lemon poppy seed, maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
You know, something lighter as well. The marshmallow honeycomb actually would probably be better, which I have again.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So I think that would actually be pretty good because it wouldn't fight with the rosé. The lemon might be a little bit
Overpowering.
Yeah. So the marshmallow honeycomb.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. That is Lisa from Butter and Batter. Right? Butter and Batter LLC.
Yeah.
She's out here in Livermore. You don't ship, right? Not yet.
I
It's
don't.
cottage.
My license. Yeah, my
cottage.
license.
All right, but she does pop-ups all here, and just another reason to come to Livermore.
Yes.
So I will link everything down in the description or the comments and YouTube, and then all right, thank you
Thanks for
spending
having
time
me.
with me.
Thank you so
and
much.
cheers.
Cheers.
Stay classy.